Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. Greatly looking forward to revival nights, the next couple of nights down at South Campus. I'm going to be teaching you about the Father of Lights, about a deception that has entered into Christianity about our Father, what He gives birth to, and what our Father's character are. Some beautiful truths out of the book of James. But right now, let's go back to the book of 1 Thessalonians. Sometimes when we read the Bible, we don't put things together quite like we should. Do you remember as Paul came into Thessalonica after he'd been imprisoned in Philippi and gone through all that difficulty, and then he came over to Thessalonica? We've been teaching about it in the Sunday services. This great population center of the poorest province in the Roman Empire, Macedonia. As he came into that city, a church was born. Now again, he was kicked out of this city and had to go on to Berea. But I want you to notice the fruit of the ministry there. Starting down in chapter 1, verse 7. And so, you became a model. Model Christians. You became a model to all the believers in Macedonia and Achaia. That's Berea, Thessalonica, Philippi. That's Athens. That's Corinth. He said, you became a model to all the believers in Macedonia and Achaia. The Lord's message rang out from you not only in Macedonia and Achaia, your faith in God has become known everywhere. Therefore, we do not need to say anything about it, for they themselves report what kind of reception you gave us. They tell how you turned to God from idols, to serve the living and true God, and to wait for His Son from heaven, whom He raised from the dead, Jesus, who rescues us from the coming wrath. It's fascinating that in other of Paul's writings, he speaks to the church of Corinth about being a carnal Christian, and no one would want to follow their example. This very wealthy city, but he looks at this poor province with a church that didn't have a lot of money, but they still supported Paul as he preached the gospel to the rich people in Corinth. He looks back at these people and he tells them, you have become model Christians. You are the kind of people who live the kind of Christian life that all the other churches look at and they say, that's how it's supposed to be done. That's the way it's to be done. That's the model. Now, brothers and sisters, don't we want to live that kind of a life? Don't we want heaven to look at us and say, look at those people, they're doing it the right way. Look at those people. That's how you do it. That's how you live the faith. That's how you live the gospel. We see so many examples of carnal Christianity and cultural Christianity and casual Christianity in the world today. I'd like to see more Thessalonians today. I'd like more of us to stand up and say, it doesn't matter how they live. I'm going to live it right. I'm going to live the example of this is how you live the Christian life.